everybody, Sylvia K. And one of the many things I'm going to be doing today, aside with all the other crap I got to do, is I'm going to be making some ghee. And all ghee is clarified butter. And it's something that is shelf stable if it's stored properly in a cool, dark area for many, many years. And there really isn't a reason to um, process it any further because, like I said, it keeps for years. It was actually a gift from India, and as you may well know, there's many places in India that don't have refrigeration. But one of the reasons why I'm going to do it is not only do I have tons of butter in my freezer, I can't continue devoting freezer space to butter. So, and I use quite a bit of butter in my cooking, and you can use ghee um, just as you would in any other uh, baking situation. And it also has a, uh, a higher heat index. So, if anyone's ever cooked a steak um, with butter and just had the butter that you uh, didn't process or anything, your butter is going to burn. But once you take off all the milk solids and the water from the butter, it has a much higher heat index. And so I just wanted to let you guys know, I actually saw a video not too long ago, and this lady was saying that her she got her butter for $1.49. Well, I don't know what planet she's living on, but anyway, this butter that I got the other day at More was $18.99, and that's for 4 1-pound blocks of butter, and it has gone up almost $4 in just the past few weeks. So if anybody needs to get some butter, I suggest now's the time to get it. I've been knowing that dairy products, as well as vanilla, coffee, sugar, chocolate, everything has been rising. I have known that for the past 5 or 6 years, if not longer. And I have done my utmost to try to stock up on chocolate and a few other things. Coffee, I don't have to worry about for two reasons. Number one, I really don't drink it. And number two, I grow it. So I'm going to get started on this in just a little bit. Okay, so I've got 5.5 pounds of unsalted butter here in this great big heavy bottom pot, and you want to try to use a heavy bottom pot so it doesn't burn on the bottom. And so I've cut it up in chunks to help facilitate the melting process. And I'm going to start this off on low, and then I'm going to make sure that I have some really hot sterilized jars in the oven that are hot and ready to go, because I don't want to run the risk of cracking my little jars that I paid so much money for. Okay, so I've got this butter on the stove now, and I just turned it off just a bit ago. I'll turn it back on low, and I'm starting to let my butter melt here. And as you can see, a lot of the milk solids are already coming up to the top. So once this is started and it's fully melted, I'll start skimming some of the milk solids off. And once it starts to boil and separate a little bit more, I'll leave those on there and let it slowly fall to the bottom and solidify. And then after that point, you do not stir it, because you don't want to stir up your brown bits. You want that to remain in the bottom with your solids. Okay, I've got it all melted, and I'm just going to skim off just a little bit of these milk solids here. And you want to keep stirring it. So it doesn't burn. Okay, so right now I still have this on very low heat, and it's just now starting to bubble up just a little bit. And before too long, a lot of this will, on its own, move off to the side. But once it starts boiling, you really don't want to stir the bottom of it. You can move this to the side a little bit, and it will bubble up. I'll turn this down just a little bit more. And as you can see, the butter is getting more and more clear. Okay, so as you can see, I've been skimming off some of these milk solids, and it's still going here. This is quite a bit of butter in this pan, so I'm just going to keep letting it cook for a little bit longer here. But don't stir the bottom. You can stir the top around a little bit, but don't stir the bottom. Now, as you can see, my butter is still at a nice little simmer, and the milk solids are starting to separate somewhat and form their own individual little butters. And this is a lot of butter that I put in here, so it's taking a considerable amount of time. But I can see that on the very surface of it, it's starting to get more and more clear. So I'll keep doing this for a while longer and see how it goes.
2 hours later.
Okie dokie, so this has been cooking for quite some time now. My house smells like a movie theater, and I'm going to leave this just a couple more minutes here, and then I'm going to take it off the stove and I'm going to strain it. Now I've got this Pyrex bowl here that I actually heated up with running some hot water over the bottom of it, and I've got a double layer of cheesecloth in a strainer here, and I'm going to carefully pour this ghee in there. And as you can see, the milk solids have been trapped in the cheesecloth. So I'm going to take my jars out of the oven and start filling up some of my jars here. I have no idea how much this is going to make, so hopefully it'll make enough. Now I'm going to wipe the top of my jar with some vinegar water here, or vinegar, just in case I got any oil on here. And I'm going to put me a lid on. And I'm going to set this jar off to the side. So as you can see, all of the milk solids are in the bottom of my pot here, and I ended up with some really, really beautiful ghee, and I'm really proud of myself. This is the first time I ever made ghee, and I made 5 full half-pint jars, and I have about a half of a pint jar. So it ended up being 5.5 pounds of butter, and I got 5.5 pints of ghee. So that's just one more way to store your butter, and this will be shelf stable for a very, very long time. Just remember to keep it in a very cool place and out of the light. And I was gonna can up some more pepper steak today, but I guess I'll do a video on that tomorrow because I made a terrific mess here. So now I got to clean all that crap up. So onward. Anyway, hope everybody's well, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.